Good evening, everybody. My name is Lauren Farello. Before I begin, I want to thank Dean Heller for asking me to make this little video for you guys. I was a WLP member of the U.S. and International Politics cohort in 2010 and 2011. I graduated from GW at the end of 2013, so it kind of makes me the class of 2014. And currently, right now, I'm teaching English in Spain, so again, apologies for not being able to be with you all tonight. I'm here to talk to you about the Rosenthall Fellowship specifically. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the experience as a whole. I'm not sure how much you guys have heard about it yet. I'll tell you a little bit about what I did specifically with them, and I'll tell you about some of the program benefits and how they really shaped my college plans and my future plans after. So as for the actual Rosenthall Fellowship, it's an internship that comes with a stipend and housing, and you work with a business improvement district. So a business improvement district, for those of you who don't know, functions like a city government, but it's a NGO. So technically it actually is only in part of the city, so that's why it's not the actual city government. So the one that I worked at, and I think a few people before me, and I know the two after me did, or the one after me, I apologize, was at the Golden Triangle Business Improvement District. And the borders for that are between roughly the White House, DuPont Circle, and GW, actually. So you guys have probably seen people in the yellow attire. They're called our ambassadors. So their job is to kind of maintain the area and make sure that it's clean, report any issues that they see to the Business Improvement District, to us. And then at that point, we disperse the information to all the people who work in the area. And a lot of the times, we are like the main point of communication. And it really functions well in the sense that because it's such a small area, it's not, like all of DC, we're able to get information out faster. We're able to really work with the needs of the people that work in the Business Improvement District and just kind of enhance the area in general. Like we put in a couple of rain gardens, done a lot of different stuff in terms of like events. So we have like Pilates in the park, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really just like its own little community. And that is a Business Improvement District. And likely whoever is the recipient of the Rosenthall Fellowship this year will be working with them as well. As I mentioned, it's a full-time stint, so you're working, 40, 45 hours a week, whatever the hours of the Business Improvement District are. In my case, it was 8:30 to 5:30, so Monday through Friday, with an hour lunch. It really kind of gets you prepared for what a full-time job looks like, and I think that was really helpful as well. As I mentioned, you live on the Vern, which the Vern Express runs pretty much the same hours. I think that they end a little bit earlier, but I never really had any issues. I was always able to take it in the morning to get to work, and then I took it back after work, and it was not a big deal at all. And the Vern is beautiful. You guys all know this. I remember this. It's so nice, and there's the pool, and it's just really, really quiet and peaceful because there's really no students. There's like some groups, like tours and stuff. But other than that, you really have the place to yourself, which is nice. Another facet of the Rosenthall Fellowship is the research project. And the research project, I'm not sure if it's still structured the same, but when I did it, it was just like a regular research paper, and it was really up to me as to what I wanted to do for it. I know that the person before me did something about, I believe, recycling, which is something that that she specifically worked on when she was at the bid. I took it a different way, and I kind of connected it to what I like, and so I looked at different business improvement districts all around the world, and I kind of connected it and thought about some of the ways that like if I were to create a new one, essentially, like how I could take different facets of different business improvement districts, including the one at the Golden Triangle, to make kind of like the best business improvement district. So in terms of what I did specifically, and let me just kind of preface this with saying that this internship was it's not something that I thought I would really ever do, because it's very different from what I studied. I was international relations, so I was like, I'm not really sure how this is going to connect and how I'm going to really fit in at the bid. But I really, really enjoyed it. And it's something that was very, like I said, very different, but I really, really had a good time learning a lot of new things. And I think the biggest thing for me was that I was given a lot of responsibility. So I did a transportation study, which actually eventually went over to the District Department of Transportation, which was pretty cool. So I looked at like the parking patterns and kind of how it's causing a lot of traffic and how that, kind of affects everybody within the business improvement district. And we made recommendations from that study and we sent them over to DDOT. I did a chalk art project, which was probably my favorite part, and I really, really enjoyed this because I'm really into like event planning. So we had a chalk artist come, and I was kind of like the one that was in charge of this. So I hired the chalk artist, and then we put together a design with, my bosses, and we did like one day, like an installation of the chalk art. And we had all these people take pictures, and we did like an Instagram contest and, things like that. So it was, that was one of my probably favorite parts of working at the bid. I also did a lot of research, and I think that that's where things kind of come into play from if you think about what you've learned in college and you think about the internships that you've had or that you're going to have, that was probably the most important part of like extrapolating what I know and using it in something that I don't know. So, I don't know about different types of wreaths. Like one thing that I did was I put up wreaths for Christmas. And this actually was kind of cool because so I wanted to figure out, what the best wreaths are and like where to strategically put them so the most people would see them, blah, blah, blah. And so I did all this research, and I was like, oh, like usually I'm doing this about something, international, but, it's still the same. I'm doing the research. So I also worked at some of the summer events. So whoever ends up being the recipient will probably do the same thing. The Pilates, we have Picnic in the Park, which grew and is now like a really big deal. And let's see, what else do we have? We have like pop-up events. So like if there's like a random, opening or something for like a new store, then we'll usually have people out there kind of working that event as well and helping out the business. So as for the program benefits, I'd say that one of the biggest things is that it led to my first college job and post-college job. And this was really a blessing, and I'm really, really fortunate to be able to have had this experience, because after I graduated in 2013 in December, my boss at the Golden Triangle said, look, I know you're going to go teach in Spain, so between when you graduate and when you go to Spain, we'd love to have you back. And so I actually worked for them for 9 months after I graduated, which was really cool. And I was able to build off of the things that I had already done, and I was able to really get into some more deeper issues and, really kind of dive in. And I just kept learning the whole time. So that was obviously for me the biggest program benefit. Like I mentioned, this is just a very new field that I hadn't experienced before, and I was able to really learn a lot. And now, I feel like I'm able to kind of talk about urban environments, and able to talk more about the way that cities are structured, things that I just never thought that I would really be interested in or really know. And it's really cool to be able to say that. And I think I mentioned this before also, another big program benefit is that the amount of responsibility that you're given is immense. They know how special you guys are. They know they've had WLP students for a lot of years, so they know that you guys are intelligent. They know that you're top of the line. So really they come in and they're like, look, here are the projects that we have for you, and they kind of give you a lot of power with it. So they know that you have a lot of capabilities, and they really want to see you thrive. So that's really cool, and you're able to just kind of make the most of your experience in whichever way you decide. Post me going to Spain, I'm actually considering doing something in the field that of a business improvement district. So I think that in terms of long-term stuff is really important as well. So for that, I think I attribute it all to WLP and to the Rosenthall Fellowship, which is really cool. So I think that's mostly it. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me if it's about WLP, anything really, or if it's about the Rosenthall Fellowship specifically, please don't hesitate to ask. Or if it's about a business improvement district, whatever really. My name is Lauren Farello, and my email is farello, Farello, at gwmail.gw.edu. Thank you again for listening, and please let me know if you have any questions. Have a wonderful rest of your year, guys. Bye.